Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Alternate Point of View. My name is Tracy Lee. So, tonight is a very interesting topic. We are going to talk about the most evil judge in all the land, Judge Margaret Van Houten from Detroit, Michigan, Wayne County. I am saying this because she was the judge that presided over the Samantha Wall trial, who the defendant was Michael Jackson Bolanos. Michael Jackson Bolanos was falsely accused and tried for Samantha Wall's murder. And Samantha Wall, again, was murdered on October 21st, 2023. She was a very prominent member of Detroit, Michigan. She was the president of the Isaac Agree Synagogue and was a very prominent political figure, best friends with Dana Nessel. She worked on both the Dana Nessel campaign and Alyssa Slockton. We have been over this over and over and over again. You can look at my other videos on Samantha Wall. I did an entire series called Murder on Joliet Place. I have done many TikTok videos about her. But this is about Michael Jackson Bolanos, who is now serving a 15-year prison sentence. Yes, I said that right. 15-year prison sentence for, guess, lying. Yes, 15 years for lying. Because Michael Jackson Bolanos did not take Samantha Wall's life. He was just accused and tried for it because actually, as I've stated, and we all know, Samantha Wall's ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Herbstman, actually confessed to and was given immunity for taking her life. Michael Jackson Bolanos was just plucked up off the street that night and was tried for her death. But because there was so much circumstantial and holes in the case, as the jury even said when they were unable to convict him for the crime because there was absolutely no evidence to connect him to this crime, he was charged with lying, convicted of lying. Lying because he didn't do it. He said, I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I didn't go into her house. And the only thing he lied about, technically, was that what he was doing. He was out checking cars. He was taking pictures of cars that could potentially be used to steal. Because Michael Jackson Bolanos was not out doing something he should be doing. He was doing stupid stuff. So yes, he lied. He lied about what he was doing. But also, every single person that got on the stand lied, and none of them are serving 15-year prison sentences. But what this judge does to put Michael Jackson Bolanos in prison for 15 years and the way she treats him is absolutely appalling, and it's disgusting, and so many other words that I could come up with and you could probably come up with yourself. But I want you to watch and see what she says to him and the things that she does, because every single word that rolls off of her tongue is actually convicting him and sentencing him for Samantha Wall's murder, not lying. Not that conviction. She's actually sentencing him for taking Samantha's life. And you will hear this while she's sentencing him, because this is absolutely appalling what she's doing. And it is way out of the bounds. And she should not be a judge. She should not be allowed to sit on that bench. She is disgusting and a disgrace to the legal community and to everyone. And she's disgusting as a human being. So I can't wait for you to hear this, because it's absolutely appalling, and she, again, shouldn't be a judge.
This is a difficult case. We started with some very, very serious charges. And while it seems like this is not a serious charge, when you add the habitual fourth offense to it, raises it to a maximum penalty of 15 years. And what I have to look at is not just the circumstances of the offense, but also the offender. And habitual fourth raises this up into a straddle cell, 0 to 22 months guidelines, and the 22 months would indicate prison. And although it is a straddle cell, I could choose to give him jail time or just straight up probation. But
Now, I want to say that the Department of Corrections actually recommended probation because this is a misdemeanor. This isn't a big deal. Lying is not a big deal. Also, because the Department of Corrections has enough offenders in there that they're dealing with that they don't need a liar. Um, and he honestly didn't lie about anything other than, like I said, what he was doing that night, which was checking cars. And they said that he didn't need to be in there. He's not a violent offender. He's not anything like that. He has been in prison before for the exact same thing, cars. But they suggested again probation. Nothing like going to prison. But she's going to continue with her little spiel, and it's rather disgusting. And you're going to see where she's going with this.
But I also have to look at the number of times that the defendant lied. And I have to say, if lying was an Olympic sport, you would get the gold medal, sir, because you told lie after lie after lie throughout those interviews, interrogations, and even a few on the stand. And the number of lies does factor into this. Also, the fact that there were prior failures to comply with community supervision, both with an unarmed robbery when he was a juvenile and also for the fleeing looting. And not only was he removed from the Haida prison sentence at the Thumb almost immediately, but was given a sentence of 18 months to 5 years and served out the entire term and never actually achieved parole because there had to have been numerous misconducts that apparently Mr. DeGrazia had looked up, but were not included in this report. But it's obvious there were numerous misconducts for him to serve out his entire time and not get parole.
Okay, I also want you to keep in mind that she's saying maybe things that weren't included in this report. Understand, he's 27 right now. When these things happened when he was a juvenile. She's mentioning things that happened when he was a juvenile. You can't include things that were in sealed records when he was a juvenile. You can't include things that happened when he was younger. You can't include things that happened prior to. All that you can include is things that he did serve time before. You can include a prior record, but you can't include like stuff that you don't know what happened or why he served the full 5 years. You don't know what it could have been because he didn't comply with freaking the way they wore their dang prison outfit, or that he didn't have his shoe on time. She doesn't know what the circumstances were, what the context is. She's just assuming. She doesn't know. He's not a violent offender. He has zero issues in prison, nothing. She doesn't know what the issues were. And as far as she knows, she has no idea why if he even went up for parole and was denied for some stupid reason. She has no idea. She's just assuming as such. And he did not lie on the stand. That's not fair for her to say that he lied on the stand. All those people that got on the stand lied on the stand. When we go back through this entire trial, I will show you who lied on the stand. The ADT expert lied on the stand. We all have evidence of it. There's plenty of evidence of everyone who lied on the stand. For her to say that if lying were an Olympic sport, he would have a gold medal, that is offensive. So this is a horrible, horrible way to treat him. He's not been convicted of taking someone's life. There's no sense in all of this for lying.
And then the other factor I'm looking at is nothing to do with acquitted conduct or the charges that had to be dismissed pursuant to that case, but also to admitted other crimes that he admitted to on the stand that will never get charged. The breaking and entering into those cars and taking pictures of cars to send to people to help them steal cars. That's all additional criminal activity. And apparently Mr. Jackson Bolanos, at the time of this offense, had not learned his lesson from all of his prior dealings with the judicial system and the prison system. and was still engaging in theft crimes on the night that this happened. And that's what put him in this place to begin with, and ended up having him charged with the more serious crimes. So it is the sentence of this court that Mr. Jackson Bolanos be sentenced to a period of incarceration of 18 months to 15 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections, with 243 days credit for time served. He must pay $68 state costs, crime victim assessment fee of $130, court costs of $1,300, which is the amount this court has estimated it's the average cost of a case coming through this courthouse. It's my duty, sir, to advise you of the right to seek appellate review of your conviction and sentence. If you're unable to afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. They'll be given transcripts needed to prepare your motions or an appeal. If you wish to seek an appeal, you have to sign and date your appellate rights paperwork and mail it to the clerk of this court within 42 days of today's date. Your client's already initialed the form?
Yes.
Okay, we will give him a photocopy to take with him.
And Judge, just for the record, you made a reference to my client lying on the stand. Like, that's unsubstantiated that he lied on the stand. That wasn't even alleged that Mr. Jackson Bolanos lied on the stand, but this court made reference to lying on the stand. And just for the record, Judge, he successfully completed his last probation he was on in 2018. So he demonstrated to the court that he does have what it takes to be successful on community supervision. If you're going back from 2013 when he's 19 years old, I mean, this is 11 years ago at his last probation that he didn't successfully complete it. 2018 was his most recent probation, and he successfully completed that probation, and they closed him out.
Sir, I've heard you out. He may have completed that one, but then he was out committing theft crimes the night of this event.
Okay, but
Judge, admittedly.
Okay, but Judge,
and he's never going to face charges on that.
Okay, so that's uncharged conduct, and Judge, if they wanted to charge him on it, they could have charged him on that. But in this building, Judge, we got to be honest with ourselves. How many individuals get sentenced to prison for lying to the police, especially if they're not being charged with any type of larceny? That just doesn't happen.
How many of those people are habitual fourth offenders? I'm done. That is my sentence. You can take it to the Court of Appeals.
Oh, well.
So that is absolutely insane. You heard her. She is charging him. She is sentencing him for crimes he isn't even been charged with. You heard her. That is absolutely, like, she should not be a judge. She is not impartial. She is completely biased to the prosecution. She is sentencing him for a crime that he has not been convicted of. Several crimes he's not been convicted of. She literally said that he wouldn't have even been there if he weren't, he wasn't even being going to be charged with the crimes that he admitted to. Now, he lied. Now he's being charged with lying. He didn't tell the cops that what he was doing. Also, by the way, lying to police, mainly you get charged with lying to police when you have lied about something that impedes an investigation. Like Casey Anthony, she was charged with lying to the police when it came to impeding an investigation over the death of her daughter, which, by the way, she did. But she was acquitted on those charges. But she was charged with lying to the police. Lying to police, like you can lie to a federal police officer and you can get up to 8 years. Michael Jackson Bolanos is serving 15 years, and they're going to make sure he serves those 15 years. So that is what that judge did. And Judge Margaret Van Houten of Wayne County, Detroit, Michigan, should not be a judge. She is the worst judge in America. If there's a worst judge in America, let me know who that judge is, because that judge is the worst judge. See, she's horrible. She sent Michael Jackson Bolanos to prison for 15 years for lying. And if you can find a judge worse than that, put them in the comments. Let me know who they are. Tell me what they did, and I'll do a video about them. But until then, Judge Margaret Van Houten is the worst judge in America. I'll see you in the next video.